Okay, welcome back, Patriots. We're going to get started on our Unit 6 review. Now, I'm doing this a little bit differently than I've done in the past. I'm not going to do a separate video for every single problem. I'm going to do a video per page. And so also down in the description, if you want to look down there, I'm going to post the timestamps for every single problem. So if you're looking for the help on number 4, just look down in the description and fast forward to that spot. Move your slider bar over. All right, let's go ahead and start off with number 1. Find the sum of the measures of the interior angle of a convex 45-gon. Now remember, that means that n equals 5. And from our notes, we know that the sum of the interior angles, we do n minus 2, which gives us the number of interior triangles if we connect the diagonals, times 180. So we're just going to plug in 5 for n, so it's 5 minus 2 times 180. Run to our calculator, and we've got 3 times 180, sorry, not 5, 45. Sorry about that, n is 45. So we do 45 minus 2 is 43 times 180 gives me 7,740. Looks like my answer choice is B. And let's go ahead and get in the practice of doing this on the review. Write your answer over there on the side. That way you do it well on the test and I don't have to go searching for your answers. Remember, one of your biggest things on a test is making it easy for the person grading it to find the right answer. Okay, number 2. Find the value of x. We've got this polygon here that looks like it has 1, 2, 3, 4 angles. So we've got a quadrilateral, which means that n equals 4. So the sum of the interior angles is 4 minus 2 times 180, and that is going to come out to a total of 360 degrees. Now, if you have that memorized, that's fine, but for these larger order ones, it's good to get in the practice of going ahead and solving that. Now we're going to take all 4 of these angles and add them up. X plus 2x plus 10 plus x plus 40 plus x minus 20 equals our total, which is 360. From there, we're going to go ahead and combine like terms. That makes 3x, 4x, 5x plus 10, 50 minus 20 makes 30 equals 360. Subtract the 30 on both sides. That gives me 5x equals 330. Now divide both sides by 5. Gives me 66, which matches up with answer G. And I'm going to go ahead and write my answer G over here on the side. Now, question number 3, find the sum of the measures of the exterior angles. Be careful on this one, because anytime we see sum of the measures, we're wanting to go and jump to this formula. However, it's the exterior angles, which makes this sort of a trick question. I don't care how many sides we've got, the sum of the exterior angles is always, every single time, 360 degrees. So my answer there is D. Now, if I'd ask you the measure of each angle of a regular polygon, then I would take that 360 and divide by my n value. But we didn't, so we just want 360. Number 4, which of the following is a property of a parallelogram? Well, I can look at my handy-dandy notes we've got here, jump over to parallelograms, and I've got my 5 things that we learned. Opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, opposite angles are congruent, consecutive angles are supplementary, and diagonals bisect each other. Let's see which one of those matches up. Each pair of opposite sides is congruent. That looks like it's good. Let's check the other ones. Only one pair of opposite angles is congruent. That is definitely not true. Both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. Each pair of opposite angles is supplementary. Well, I take exception here to this word opposite, because it is consecutive angles that are supplementary, so that doesn't work. And there are 4 right angles. That's actually one of our ones. If we fast forward up here to rectangles, we've got 4 right angles. That's for 4 right angles makes a rectangle. That's not it. Our answer is F. Now for number 5. For a parallelogram ABCD, we want to find the measure of angle 1. Now, keep in mind that for a parallelogram, these things are, opposite sides are parallel. We could think of this line here as a transversal line, making these two opposite interior angles, which are therefore congruent. So angle 1 is also going to be 36 degrees. Answer C. Number 6. ABCD is a parallelogram. Let's go ahead and draw a parallelogram and make sure you go around the outside with your letters. Don't jump and forth back across. It's a parallelogram with diagonals intersecting at points E. So this is E. If AE, this one here, is 3x plus 12, and EC is 27, find the value of x. Now, on our parallelogram properties, the fact that diagonals bisect each other means that each side of the diagonal is congruent to each other, because this is exactly the midpoint. So what that means is that AE and EC are congruent. So now I'm going to go ahead and set that equation up. 3x plus 12 equals 27, and then solve. Subtract 12 on both sides gives me 3x equals 15, and then dividing by 3 gives me x equals 5. So my answer choice is F. All right, number 7. Find the value of x and y so that this quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Now what that means is we're wanting to force these lines to be parallel, which means these two alternate interiors have to be equal and these two opposite angles have to be equal. So I'm going to set these two equal to each other and solve for x, and then set those two equal to each other and solve for y. Let's do the x equation first, and I'm going to jump up here because that's where I have room. 2x plus 30 equals 5x minus 9. We get all of our x's on one side. I'm going to move the 2x since it's smaller. Subtracting 2x on both sides gives me 3x. We're also going to add 9 to both sides, gives me 39. And now divide both sides by 3, gives me x equals 13. Now at this point, before I even do the y equation, anytime I have multiple choice, I'm going to go ahead and eliminate as I go. That way I can kind of simplify things down. It's possible that I only have to do one of the equations if the multiple choice allows for it. So x equals 13, well a and b both have x being 13. I can cross out c and d, and now it's just a 50-50 choice. I got to see, does 24 or 6 work for y? All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump into that y equation. These two equal each other. 1/2 y equals y minus 12. Need to get all my y's on one side. Since I have a constant over here, I'm going to use, or on the right, I'm going to move my y over. Now when I subtract y from both sides, 1/2 y minus y is negative 1/2 y equals negative 12. Now to get rid of a negative 1/2, I'm going to multiply by negative 2 on both sides. These guys are going to cancel, leaving me with y equals positive 24. So then I look at my answer choices. Y is 24 is on A. So there's my answer. All right, number 8, find the value of x so this quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Just like before, I want to set these two opposite angles equal to each other. And so I'm going to do that right here in the middle, because that's where I've got room. 2x plus 60 equals 4x minus 12. I want to get all my x's on one side, so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Leaves me with 2x on the right. 4x minus 2x is 2x. I'm also going to add 12 on both sides. So 60 plus 12 is 72. Now divide both sides by 2. And 72 divided by 2 is 36. So the value of x is H36. Number 9, ABCD is a rectangle. Let's go ahead and draw that. Once again, going around the outside of the shape and not cutting back and forth across. If AC, which is this diagonal, is 5x plus 2, and BD is x plus 22, find the value of x. Well, on my rectangles properties, one of the values for a rectangle is that the diagonals are congruent to each other, which is not true in a standard standard parallelogram. So these two diagonals are equal to each other, means 5x plus 2 is equal to x plus 22. Same solving style I used before, get the x's on one side, constants on the other. I'm going to subtract x on both sides, gives me 4x. Subtract 2 on both sides gives me 20. Then divide by 4 gives me x equals 5. Therefore, my answer choice is F, and I'm going to write it in the blank. All right, going to go ahead and call it for this video, and we'll start up on page 2 in the next one.